Welcome to the Missouri Leadership Development System On-Demand Principal Leadership Series. I'm Mike Rutherford, and I'm happy to be your host and guide for this on-demand series. The MLDS, Missouri Leadership Development System, is a comprehensive set of professional learning experiences designed by and for Missouri school leaders. This on-demand series is intended to preview, complement, and introduce a few of the nearly 100 leadership lessons that are contained in the Missouri Leadership Development System curriculum. Each episode of our on-demand series will have three components: a short video where I attempt to explain the leadership concept, a PDF file of written materials that will support each lesson, and a podcast so that you can engage with each leadership lesson in a mobile fashion should you decide to do that. We hope you'll find this on-demand series not only convenient and accessible, but also powerful and productive. Information on how you can engage in the full spectrum of MLDS leadership learning can be found at dese.mo.gov. There's also a complete listing of all of the MLDS specialists for your region in the PDF file that accompanies each episode. Thank you for participating. Welcome to the MLDS On-Demand Principal Leadership Series. This is Episode 7, Supporting Innovation, Creativity, and Meaningful Work. So, from dictionary.com, innovation: the act of innovating, introduction of new things or methods. Creativity: the ability to transcend traditional ideas, rules, patterns, relationships, etc., and to create meaningful new ideas, forms, methods, originality, progressiveness, or imagination. So here's the question: do schools become more innovative and creative, and is the work that the adults at the school perform, does it become more meaningful because of who works there? Or rather, is it the case that schools, through excellent leadership, create the conditions of innovation and creativity and meaningful work, and then over time attract and retain employees that fit that type of school? In his book, Creativity, The Psychology of Discovery and Invention, the Hungarian author Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi says that creativity is not so much an individual trait as it is driven by context, culture, and environment. So in school leadership, our job, I think, if we want to attract and retain more innovative, creative employees and do that by creating more meaningful work, we pay attention to those three things, right? We pay attention to context, culture, and environment, and create those conditions within those aspects of our school's culture. Csikszentmihalyi points to the spurt of artistic creativity that occurred in Florence, Italy between 1400 and 1425. He contends that the flourishing of artistic creativity of the Renaissance could not have simply been a random concentration of creative individuals. Rather, he suggests that it was fueled by a convergence of cultural and environmental factors. Also, again from Csikszentmihalyi's book, it's important to be in the right place, he says. Information and ideas are not, even in the online age, evenly distributed. They tend to clump. It is still the case that for one who aspires to creativity and innovation in theater, New York is the best place to be. For screenwriting, Los Angeles. For country music, Nashville. For politics, Washington, D.C. For educational innovation and creativity, well, why not your school? It is within the realm of leaders to create these conditions that over time will attract and retain people. So the place makes the people and the people make the place. Let's take a look at 6 design principles. As a school leader, if you were to become interested in this, I want my school to be a hotbed of innovation and creativity and meaningful work. How would I design this place to attract and retain those types of people? Let's take a look. Design principle number 1 is called nurture curiosity. Ask the questions, what if, why not, I wonder. You know, in his excellent 2017 book, Future Driven, David Gurin, a Missouri school principal and author, quotes Dorothy Parker on page 69. The cure for boredom is curiosity. There is no cure for curiosity. So as a leader, that's design principle number 1. Design into your school's culture a rampant curiosity for what if, why not, I wonder. Number 2 is to build trust. We know that innovation and creativity and meaningful work flourish in cultures that are characterized as high trust cultures. And they're inhibited when there's not much trust in the organization. You know, our On-Demand Principal Leadership Series, episode 1, was titled Building a Culture of Trust. That would be a great resource to go back for principle number 2 today. We know that trust produces innovation, creativity, and meaningful work. Principle number 3, embrace rather than avoid risk and failure. And you know, we think that starts at the top. So give that some thought, I would encourage you. Is my school a place where when people take a risk and it flops or it fails, they're embarrassed or they're punished? Or rather, in more innovative environments, is taking a risk and failing, but yet learning some lessons from it, is that seen as a positive step in the right direction? You know, there are some organizations and schools that even celebrate flops and failures, right? Flop of the week might be something that you would want to institute at your school. Also, from the leader's perspective, we should share things we thought would work that didn't. Model this from the top. We know that innovative cultures embrace risk and they expect failure as natural byproducts of being innovative and creative. Principle number 4, create innovative work groups. Think about, as a school leader, how you put together collaborative teams. The general principle here is mix it up. Have people work together that are from different generations, that have different political views, that had vastly different upbringings. The more diversity and the more unalike people in a creative group are, well, the less likely they are to get along well at the beginning, but the more likely they are to come up with innovative and creative solutions. Generally, if you just want people to implement things that have already been invented, put them in job-alike groups. But if you want them to invent and implement at the same time, diversity is the rule for those sorts of groups. Principle number 5, create innovative spaces for planning and teaching and learning. You know, going back to Csikszentmihalyi's book, he said that the spatio-temporal context is important. There's a word for you. In other words, it makes a difference how the physical environment is laid out. How could we create innovative environments for teacher planning? How could we create innovative classroom environments? How could we re-engineer and reimagine the physical environment that supports learning in classrooms? We know that the physical environment has a lot to do with the creative thinking that goes on inside that environment. And finally, design principle number 6 for innovation, creativity, and meaning work is support the concepts of autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Daniel Pink, in his 2009 bestseller, Drive, The Surprising Truth About What Motivates Us, says these are 3 attributes of an innovative workplace. Number 1, autonomy, agency. Do people have basic control over what they do on a moment-to-moment basis? Are they treated like professionals? Are they treated more like chefs or recipe-following cooks? We're always going to attract more talented people if we attract people to a job that has agency and autonomy. Number 2, Pink says, is the need for mastery. Now, mastery means creating the conditions where people can get really good at something over time. That means limit the number of programs. Go deeper rather than broader. When you innovate a new approach to something, give people the opportunity to get good at it before you innovate again. People are drawn to being successful, and being masterful at something is a huge motivator at work. And finally, Pink says, connect work to purpose. All right, think about the why also alongside the how and the when. You know, when people understand what they're doing and how it relates back to the mission and the vision and the values of the entire organization, it imbues their work with more meaning. So, for us as school leaders, let's commit. Let's be about the business of creating these conditions so that the people and the work that will be drawn to those conditions will follow. Thanks for participating.